we will go to war.
Let's do this. So I'm not Jared Chambers. I'm from Big O Belt Media. Markuann and my guy. It's a pleasure to talk to you today. Congratulations, because season 4 of Godfather of Harlem is just right around the corner. April 13th, returning back to MGM Plus. How you feeling?
I'm excited, man. It's surreal. Like it feels like we were just on season one. I mean, just yesterday, and to have a season four and have an audience that's really receptive to this, it's an
Yeah.
amazing thing.
Yeah, I have to be honest. I was talking to Chris, and I was saying what's really interesting is with Godfather of Harlem and with From, two original Epic Plus series, that they were two of the biggest kept secrets, and fans who knew about it, they knew, and they've been championing and rallying since the beginning. And now that I say that it has fully successfully integrated into the sphere of like, this is good television. I'm just glad that we're able to to continue to talk about this journey, having both from both shows, and well deserved, because it's a fantastic show. I feel like the good folks at Prime Video and MGM Plus have done a good job of getting it out there, and the fans have just been championing it. So like, it's one of those best kept secrets. But like, all right, now everybody know, everybody can come in, no gatekeeping or anything. But like, we knew since day one. You knew, obviously, being a part of it, and it's a beautiful thing for you all to have a season 4. But it's super special for you because not only as an actor, as also serving as an EP, but also just a Harlem native. So like, when you get to tell the history of Harlem, and it does, obviously takes its creative liberties at time, but it's still, at the end of it, at the heart of it, it is Harlem, especially when you got people like you involved. Just really, how special is it for you to continue to tell these stories and to be a part of it?
Well, as a creator, EP, acting, I love to make history cool, right? I mean, history, I mean, KRS One said it best, edutainment, entertaining and educating is that's so that's so dope to me to be able to go on Google and say who was Adam Clayton Powell, who was Robert Morgenthau, right? Who
Yeah.
was Ellsworth Raymond Johnson? And to be able to tell stories like that is amazing to me. And our journey to get to where we are, I mean, we got turned down by 3 networks, and it was, Michael Wright who really believed in us as being the president of Epics. And everybody was like, "What is Epics?" But Epics was around. It was a subsidiary of MGM, and
Yep.
for us to be the flagship show and really
Yep.
believe on the little train that could, and where we're at right now is amazing. I mean, who would think 4 seasons later we would have an Emmy and multiple nominations?
Taught that, my brother. That's what I'm talking about. And I be trying to tell folks. I don't want to throw no names out there, but I tell people, I was like, I know y'all like these type of shows
Yeah.
in this genre, but I'm trying to tell you, bar none, Godfather of Harlem is it. And this season, man, oh man, did we start off things in a way that just continues to elevate. And we'll get there one second, but I got to give you your flowers where it's due. You are a man of fashion. I'm a follower of yours on social media, and every time you pull up, I'm like, yeah, yeah, he killing it. And what's really special when you talk about fashion, you always got to look at the fashion capital, and that's New York. And the
Yeah.
fact that you get to sort of play in this playground in the 60s, I want to know for you, considering all you do now, and being the EP, and have such an interest in fashion, talk to me about working with your makeup, your costume design folks, and really bringing Junie to life in the 60s. And what were some of the things you were really excited to kind of put on and show out with?
I have to give a big shout out to Sarah Lux, and she's been amazing for us. Just putting us in different knits, whether it's alpaca, whether it's knit, mock necks, the 60s was wonderful. And one thing about her that I have to, once again, I have to shout her out for is that she let us become the clothes instead of letting the clothes become us. You feel what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
we sat down, she asked me, the from when she came on, like, who do I feel Joni is and how will he grow? If you looked at season one, I wasn't as dressed as I am in season four, so you see the transition. But Sarah Lux is amazing, and Sunday's best, right? That's every time I woke up, my mother said, when you wake up, you're on stage. Leave the house with good socks and clean drawers, and you'll be
Say
and you
that.
so First impression could be your last impression. And that plus, I really love what Harlem did for fashion.
Yeah, yeah, no doubt, no doubt, and still is, one like I said, it's the fashion capital of the world, but definitely the place where trends are made, um, and considering what Junie's relationship with Bumpy, my biggest question as the fan is I always wonder, when we talk about the muscles, when we talk about the person that's going to go out there and do what Bumpy needs. I mean, you look at Junie, but you also got to look at Chance and Pettigrew.
Yeah.
Talk to me about the hierarchy here because we definitely see Chance and Pettigrew out there doing more of the I'll say the outlandish missions, and it
Yeah.
seems like when Junior gets called, like this is the real deal, especially
Yeah.
when we'll talk about something in a second, but yeah, just talk about a little bit about the hierarchy. How does
So
that work?
if you knew the history, we took some creative licensing and a liberty, but Bumpy dies in Junie Byrd's arms. He was the young capo coming up before Frank Lucas, right? Chance is the angry ex-army vet, and then you have Pettigrew, Nathaniel Pettigrew. So the characters basically, with Junie Byrd, he's more of kind of like Bumpy's is really his mentor. He's watching what he's doing from the numbers to working in the dope spots, just to being there by him for his side, where, Chance is out there, he's taking his risk and Pettigrew's out there doing his thing. Junie's more on the business side, trying to emulate and be the kind of like a baby Bumpy Johnson that's out there.
You see, that's why I wanted to remix my questions a little bit here because fantastic addition to the season, played by the very talented Ron Flynn, is the infamous character of Frank Lucas. Now, everybody knows the American Gangster story. Everybody knows such an icon Frank Lucas is. But as you said, when it came down to Bumpy, and everybody knows where Bumpy journey essentially ends, you have to kind of wonder, who was truly the next successor in line. Now, I want to know for you, both as the actor, both as the EP, both as the fan, the moment Frank steps off this bus, we all know it's showtime. We know everything's is getting ready to change. I want to know for Junior, where does he sort of align with this presence of him, and how do we see this journey explored throughout the season?
Well, you'll see Frank because you don't know if you can trust him or not trust him. And with American Gangster, you know, Bumpy didn't die in an electronics store watching TVs. He actually died in my character's arms,
Yeah.
eating chicken and waffles of congestive heart failure. He had a history of that. Frank comes into play because he's the young cat coming up from the South trying to make his bones on the streets of Harlem. But then you see the turmoil. You'll see the turmoil in this show. And in real life, Frank wasn't Bumpy's friend. Frank was just an associate of Bumpy, right? And Bumpy dealt with him, just to put that out there. But you'll see what happens in season 4, how the tension is. Is Frank really down for Bumpy? Is Bumpy really, down for Frank? Or is this just a business relationship? It's
Okay.
like
And I
everybody's using each other, man. Like it's like pawns, queens, kings, rooks, like everybody's using each other.
Yeah, I told Chris when I got to speak to him earlier about like, listen, we all know where the story ends. Let's take our time to get in there. I really, really want to dive deeper into the psychology of these characters, but more or less the psychology of the character of New York City during this time. And I love how, again, this is your home, so you know these stories, the stories that one may just wish they can just be a bump on the log just to hear about, and the fact that you get to kind of will some of the storytelling through the EP, add some of the truth in there, take some of the creative parts in there. This makes it must watch. But
I
also,
mean, Harlem is a character in itself.
you know,
Everybody wanted to take that A train and come uptown, whether you was a royalty, musicians, politicians, athletes, Harlem was the place to be at. And being able to showcase Harlem, especially in the 60s, man, you may see Coltrane over here or Bird over there, hear some music, look and see Sugar Ray Robinson's pink Cadillac outside. It's just an amazing feel just to know Harlem is a story in itself.
my man. I wish I had so much more time with you, but maybe we'll talk again soon because I got a feeling we
Absolutely.
got a lot more Godfather of Harlem to come many more years down the line. But for right now, folks gotta Stay tuned. Get locked in. Season 4 is coming out April 13th, MGM Plus. Marquand, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you today.
Thank you for
Congratulations.
having me. Thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely, my brother. Appreciate you.
Ridiculous.